Hello and welcome back to another video. So today's set is a complete set from prep all the way through to filing and top coat. This is Shana. She is my cousin and she came back with no nails on because she bit them off. So we restarted. I'm just taking off the Sally Henson strengthener that she had on her nails with some acetone and coming in and doing my prep with my Glitter Planet cuticle pusher. So using this just to push all those cuticles back and get anything dead off that nail plate. You don't want that on there. Did go out shot on some of these so you can't see all of the nails, but I've left in as much as I can. So it's always critical that you get this bit and you do this bit right. So once I'm happy that I've got all of that off, I will then come in with my nail file to etch that natural nail. So I use a 100-180 grit file, but I only use the 180 side on the natural nail. You don't want to be using anything too harsh. You don't want to be damaging it. You're only skipping over it to take the shine off the nail, but you need to be quite thorough. We're doing a lovely nude glitter set inspired by Tracy Lou's nails, obviously. Using my Tracy Lou files. I'm a big fan, you can tell, can't you? So yeah, just skipping over, making sure we get every single piece of that nail matte and etched. So going in at the edges. If I need to, I will use the end of my file to get right into them corners, and I'm just tidying up the free edge as well. But we're not doing this harshly. This whole video is sped up, so I'm not working this fast, but I'm just making sure we've got a beautiful matte canvas to put our products on. If you leave any shine on there, any dead skin, it will lift, I can promise. Take it from someone who's had experience. So you could do all of your prep with a hand file. Lots of people do, that's fine. I do use e-file bits as well. We're just really making sure we've got a perfect base. And your prep is your key. It absolutely is. It doesn't matter what your application's like. If you get this bit wrong, you won't have a nice base to work on. You won't have the adhesion that you need for your clients. This is a long ass video. Hope you're ready. Watch it in stages. Just wanted to do a full video really to get that content on my YouTube. Thank you if you're a new subscriber. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, all that jazz. It's nice to know that it is helpful for some people. So yeah, I'm just checking as we're going. I'm just checking and making sure there are no shiny patches on those nails. So, get the thumb done. Once we're happy with the thumb, I will then come in with my cuticle bit. Now, the bit that I use is called, she says, Skittle bit. It's a Skittle bit. I got it from Nail.Supplies. It's fab. It lifts up that cuticle and takes off any additional. You'll see when I show you the video in how much is still on there. Even though I've done all of this bit, wait and see how much I still get. There you go. So you think you've got it all, and then you come in with that Skittle bit and boom, there's more. And the beauty of this bit is it pushes it away from that cuticle so it gets it off the nail plate. Look at all that. You wouldn't have seen that. So if you are e-file trained, I strongly advise getting a cuticle bit. We're not doing a full-on Russian manicure here. We are literally getting everything off that nail plate. I then come in with my small ball bit. This is gentle enough. It's on a speed 5 and it's gentle enough to go over the skin on that cuticle because it will tidy it all up. And for me, as I've said before, I am not confident with cuticle nippers at this point. I use them on myself. Until I am confident, I will not do it on clients. And a lot of time, there's no need to at all. So just using that to make sure it's nice and clean. Once I have done all the nails, I will then use my toothbrush to get rid of all the dust, and I will wipe the nails over again with acetone or isopropyl alcohol, whichever you prefer. We then go on to tips. I'm using Tracy Lou's Tapered square tips because I love them. I am looking to get her stiletto tips as well once I get back from my little holiday. I'm not ordering anything now until after. So a little bit of CJP's gripper glue on that tip area, pull it down the nail at an angle and then hold in place, making sure you've got no air bubbles. And then, yeah, just giving it a few seconds. If you have a tip and you have a finger that's between tip sizes, go for the bigger one and trim it to fit. Don't use the smaller one, you will get problems. The acrylic will set, that tip will start to feel tight, and you could actually cause nail separation if you do that. So if in any doubt, go bigger, trim it to fit, whether that's with scissors, you know, cutting the wings off, trimming the side, whatever it takes. And make sure that you do size every single finger. Don't assume that the ring finger on one hand will be the same size as the ring finger on the other, because they never are. Never. So just getting all of those tips on. And then once I've got my tips on, I use my stalk scissors to cut them down. I just find it a lot easier than using tip cutters. Shana wanted to go for more of a square-ish shape. I do taper them somewhat because it is difficult to do a nice looking square without it looking too wide. So another tip when you're cutting your tips, cut them a little bit thinner than you actually want the finished result to be. You know, if you want a very pronounced ballerina, do them almost like you've cut them too much, because you're going to be adding that bulk on it. They are going to get wider when you put your acrylic on. So that's a little tip if you're struggling with your shaping. And it's much easier to get that shaping now than it is once your acrylic's on. I've made that mistake so many times. So, you know, the more time you spend on your prep and your shaping at this point, the easier it will be at the end, because then your filing's refining. What's everybody up to today? Sunday this week is my only day off. I'm having a lazy one, so apart from doing this video and a bit of posting on Facebook, I'm doing a lot. So just using those stalk scissors just to trim those sides down. I did go out of shot on some of these. So as you can see, I'm just getting that shape in. I have no idea what I was explaining to her then. But yeah, just getting that shape in, and then of course you will come in with your nail file and you will refine the edges. With these tips, they don't need blending as such. It is purely just sharpening that shape up, getting them where I want them to be, and making sure those wings are in. So yeah, just coming in and filing those edges, just making sure those wings are blended in. You don't have to do a lot of blending on these tips, like I said. We have gone slightly shorter on Shana this time. She did have them a bit longer last time, but because she chewed them off, I was a bit mean and said, no, you can't have them that long now. Because if there's any chance she's going to chew these off again, there's no point me wasting my time, is there? Beauty of doing family's nails. Always a lot harder on my family than I am my clients, but I'm quite hard anyway. You know, I am one of those people that will just say to them, nope, you can't have that shape because it's not going to work with the job that you do. Beauty of working from home and being in a position where you can pick and choose your clients. And believe me, I do pick and choose my clients. You know, not everybody is for you. You know, and I'm very aware of where I want my client base to be. So therefore I tailor my services to match, because that's what works for me. So yeah, just refining all those tips. Can you see how nicely etched that natural nail is? That's what you want. And the reason that I clean with acetone, the reason I use Prep Spray Plus, is because when you're doing this, no matter how careful you are, you're going to be touching that nail bed, and every time you touch that nail bed, you're going to be putting oil back into it. So you need to keep making sure that it is oil free. And remember, your dehydrator will usually only be working for the first sort of 5 minutes or so, After that, you're going to have to reapply it because it evaporates. So don't forget that, which is why I do the two. I do one to start with, and then I reapply as I am applying my clear base. In case you're in any doubt at all, because I did have this question the other day, when I do acrylic designs, the reason I do that clear base is because you very, very rarely do infills on acrylic designs. Most of the time my clients will come back and want a brand new design. You can't just infill that growth area and then put a new design over the top. You're going to have to take the old design off, otherwise you're going to end up really, really bulky nails. So you've got to take it right back, and that takes as long, sometimes longer, than doing a brand new set anyway. So if they have all acrylic designs and they're having a new design, it is a redesign. It is therefore charged at the same price as a full set. So just wiping all the nails over with acetone, just to make sure we've blended them in nicely. Applying my dehydrator. Actually, I didn't apply acetone on that last one. That last one was Prep Spray Plus, which is a dehydrator as well. So all 5 nails to start with. And then I go in with my clear layer. So small clear bead of acrylic. Just feather it in at the cuticle, pull the majority down the nail. You can see I re-dehydrated that finger. Wait for it to dry. Get your little bead of clear on. Keep that nice and thin. And we are then going to the glitter slice finger. So fairly large bead. In this case it's Honey Pearl from CJP. Tuck it in. You can see I'm not touching the body of that nail until I've got it tucked in around the sides, because gravity is going to do the work for me. So I'm going to pull it down at an angle, and I've done a large bead because I want it to set at the same time so that it's set enough that I can come in with some black thread. It's cheap black cotton, nothing special, and literally cut into that straight across and pull it off. Job done. Tidy it up with your brush, get any little bits off. And then I add more beads to get my apex in, because I'm not going to be capping the Honey Pearl. It is a strength powder, so I'm going to build my apex now, and then all I need to cap is that glitter once we've put the glitter on. So I just keep going in, tucking in at that cuticle. Doesn't matter if you don't get it completely gorgeous, you know, you can file it. I just prefer to be as neat as I can because I hate filing. So it just makes it easier at the end. Once I have got that nail bed where I want it, I'm going to leave it to set while I go and do the glitter finger. I'm doing these 2 fingers first so that I can leave the glitter long enough to set while I do the other nails, which are full nails of that Honey Pearl. The glitter I'm using, I'm just putting a little layer of Honey Pearl down first at the cuticle to get it nice and neat. I am then using my wet brush to pick up, it's Strawberry Cheesecake from Tracy Lou's Nails, Tracy Lou Shares on Instagram, and I'm just moving it around to get that glitter where I want it. It is a multi-cut glitter, so it's nice and easy to move around and get those smaller bits around the cuticle, get that nice and neat, and then I just add more glitter as I need it. If I need to add a little bit more clear acrylic to help it set, then I'll pick up a tiny bead of acrylic, dip it into the raw glitter, pick it up, give it a bit of a wiggle, bit of a move around, and then just play with it until I've got those pieces. And I'm moving the finger so that I can see where those bare places are. You will see them. The light hits the glitter and you'll be able to see any bits where you've missed it. Once you have got all your glitter on and you are happy, give it a good tap, get it to lay flat, and then I then go back and file the slice area to get the glitter on there, because once I've got my glitter on, I can move it out of harm's way and I'm not going to knock the bloody thing over. So moving on to that glitter slice, I'm just using a file to file it straight. You are filing against the acrylic, not down onto the tip. That's important. Little bit of clear acrylic on there, and I'm picking my glitter up with a wet brush. I'm not using any extra glitter to pick it up, and I'm just getting that on that tip and moving it around until I've got the smaller pieces in the corners and the edges, the larger pieces on the body of that nail. And I can then move my glitter out of the way. I can get on with the other 3 nails, which are all plain nails of Honey Pearl, because what else did you need? It's a glittery nude. Didn't need anything more than that. So the whole time I'm doing the other 3 nails, these 2 are setting. If I put that glitter on and then cap it in clear, I will pull that glitter off that slice because it's not set on there. It's not what we want. So nice and precise. A nice pat. And then we move on to the full fingers. So Honey Pearl, beautiful colour. Don't use it as much as I'd like to. Please excuse my background noises. I am having my coffee and a cigarette. So first bead goes on, for me that's at the cuticle. Tap tap, swipe down the sides, and then pull the rest of the product down the nail. Make sure it's nice and tidy. Come in with the second bead. I'm not going to be capping the Honey Pearl. It is a strength powder. If you are unsure, a very small bead of clear acrylic will stop you filing your colour away, especially around that cuticle and on the side walls. So you can do that. I don't think I did on this set. I think I just capped those nails that had the glitter on. Getting a little bit more confident now. So yeah, all the time checking from each angle. Make sure you've got your apex where you want it. Moving on to that second finger, I am aware that this isn't the best angle because of the way that I work. I have my client's fingers in the way and then sometimes my fingers in the way. So I will be looking over the next, I've probably got 2, maybe 3 sets that I can film tomorrow and Tuesday. So I'm going to have a play with different camera angles and just see if I can get a better angle. I'm learning as I go. I left it in anyway. Gets a bit better in a minute, I think. Was very pleased with how this set came out. This is probably one of my favourite sets. It is one of my favourite sets this week. I'm not even going to lie. Not even going to justify it. I was really pleased with how these came out. It was a very nice, relaxed appointment. We had a couple of breaks. You know, Shana is my cousin. She came with my other cousin. So we're catching up on family news and, you know, generally talking. And then once we've done with that, we go on to the thumb, get the thumb done, and then the last thing I'm going to do is to go back and cap those glitter nails. Strawberry Cheesecake is beautiful glitter. It really is. As are all Tracy Lou's glitters. I'm absolutely in love with all of them, and I have a goal now to get all of them after I get back off holiday. So just that thumb, that first bead I'm putting in the middle because the thumb is bigger. So I'm getting that bit on first. Coming with my second bead at the cuticle. The biggest mistake that I still make with CJP is you are meant to wait 3 seconds, and sometimes I forget still. There is a little waltz that I play in my head when I think about it with CJP. So wipe your brush, you know, go into your monomer, wipe the brush, into the powder, 1, 2, 3, take it out, 1, 2, 3, put it on the nail, 1, 2, 3, then work with it. But I do forget sometimes. So, you know, I'm still new, still doing, but much better than I used to be. And I don't always think about that now when I'm working, you know, it works for me, and I enjoy working with the product that way. So, you know, I'm obviously getting better. I've got good adhesion now, so I'm obviously doing it right. most of the time. So I came in with another bead just on that cuticle. So before I put my clear acrylic on, I am going to wet that nail with some monomer, slightly wetter bead, keep that finger pointing down. Look how beautifully that just falls. Hardly anything, hardly any work needed to do in that at all. All you're doing is getting that cuticle and those side walls nice and neat, and gravity does the rest. It's that simple. So you are looking for that matte effect once you have capped your glitter. If it's not matte, you have not capped it enough, and you will then struggle and end up filing your glitter away. So getting that clear bead on that split, and then I'm just feathering it up to make sure it's level. Again, the whole time I'm checking my structure, because I do not want to have to be filing them into shape. My filing needs to be refining. So here we are, I'm using a 100 grit side on these side walls, free edge. As always, over the cuticle. I'm using my thumb as I pull that skin back so that I don't capture, and I'm being very careful. Now, I was using a relatively new nail file on these, so I am getting better. I'm not working that fast, but I'm going to fully file that nail until I am happy. So nail file first, then the buffer. Very often you can get that cuticle a lot flusher using the buffer than you can with the nail file. So do that. You can always go back and file it again with the nail file if, you know, as I've just done, if you're not quite happy. But it's refining. I'm not spending ages filing these nails. It is literally smoothing out and just refining that shape. So again, side walls, free edge. Get that bit where I'm happy. Keep turning the nail as you're working, up and around that cuticle. And then the sides and the body of the nail, all the way down. There we go. So on this one, getting those side walls nice and straight first. Still need to think about another light as well, I think. I'm not always getting the best light on these, so we'll have a look at that as well. The problem I've got is I've got very limited space to get another light in. That's the problem. I'll show you one day. I'll give you a little video tour of my, can't even call it like work area. It's like literally a corner. But you know, it's worked for nearly 2 years. We're currently in the process of hopefully considering moving to a bigger house, at which point I will be having a little cabin in the garden. I just had a knock at the door from someone buying my old light. So where were we? Still fiddling with that now. So yeah, just around the body of the nail. I was really pleased with how this set came out. I've noticed a great improvement in my work in the last couple of weeks especially. Will say my nails are now looking a little bit battered. I filed them away a bit, so I need to take the top coat off, refine the shape again, and redo the whiskers. And I've put off doing it because I know damn well I'm going to struggle doing the whiskers on my right hand. But you know, Rachel did a fab job on my nails, absolutely loving them. So yeah, just refining that until I've got it where I want it to be. So just come down and take some of the bulk off that edge bit. You do tend to find when you're capping that they look a little bit bulky until you refine the top. Oh, excuse me. So I'm off to Cumbria to visit my son. They have a lovely log cabin in their very large back garden. So we're off to stay with them for 4 days. I'm taking my, this is Hinch's activity journal with me as well. Absolutely love Mrs. Hinch. Had a comment from her on my Instagram the other day. I was over the moon. So just doing that thumb. Anybody else struggle with thumbs? Aren't they hard to do? Mine have got much better recently. I'm not struggling as much. I have no idea why I stopped for so long there. I was obviously chatting. See? I was probably telling her off because she was giving my mum stupid ideas. And I told her that if she carried on giving her stupid ideas, I was going to cut her cuticles. You know, I'm such a nice person. Just chatting. What's that all about? I talk too much. Anyway, yeah, looking forward to a full few days. We're Wednesday to Sunday. Just with it being half term. I've only got one child at home now. I've got Zach, who's nearly 14. He's 14 in December. My older two children have grown up, left home. My eldest son is married. My daughter lives with her partner. So, yeah, just the one. So it'll just be me, my husband, one of the dogs, Pepper, and Zach, just for 4 days. Just to catch up with family. So, buffing all the nails over. And then I think I do come back in with a nail file and refine a little bit more on a couple of them. If that's what it takes to get the nails done, that's what it takes. You know, I'm now at that point where a few months ago I would be, oh, well, you know, that'll do. I don't settle for that'll do now. I don't stop until I'm happy. Or until I can't file it anymore without taking colour away or buggering the shape up, basically. So, yeah, that's my new mantra for the last couple of weeks. It's like I don't settle for that will do. That's just me. It's just the way I work. So, turning the hand around. Turn the hand around and file with a straight file. The ends, the sidewalls. Very often, if you've got someone with a wonky finger, you can correct it doing it from this view. Yes, it might look a little uncomfortable for the client, but do you know what? Do they want nice nails or not? It's worth it. So wiping over once I am finished with acetone, smooths out that top layer, gives a nice base for your clear top coat to go on. Gets rid of any dust and bits and pieces. And then CJP's tack-free top gloss to finish as always. So thin layer of that. I will then put my client's hand in the lamp for 60 seconds. Although this top coat does cure in 30, I always do 60. Give them a few seconds to cool down before you put your cuticle oil on. And then you are done. So I've left a video and a picture at the end. Thank you so much for waiting through this whole long ass video. I hope it's of use to somebody, and thank you very much for subscribing and liking, and I will be back very, very soon, but not anymore today because it's Sunday. See you all soon. Bye bye.